Wow, wouldn't it just be a dream come true if one bright morning every person on Earth yanked their forks right out of their precious steaks and joined the holy crusade of veganism? Imagine the joyous day when we all reject that nasty, unhealthy burger, or wave goodbye to that morally repugnant, fluffy omelet. As if that weren't enough of a life upgrade, we'd gleefully shun cheesy pizza and say farewell to mouth-watering ice cream. Because obviously fruit sorbet is so much better. But let's not stop there. Oh no. Our grand revolution will be driven by whichever lofty cause each individual deems oh so important. Personal health, saving the poor animals from unspeakable misery, or making a grand gesture to fight climate change. If you're really the type who loves spreadsheets of global warming data, you'll latch on to the idea that a vegan lifestyle will totally fix everything. Because of course it will. So yes, in this fantastical reality, everyone on the planet becomes vegan overnight. Doesn't that sound positively delightful? I know I can't wait for my kale smoothie and quinoa loaf. Let's break down the incredible transformations awaiting us. First, we'll all pat ourselves on the back for dismantling the quarter of greenhouse gas emissions currently blamed on livestock. A huge chunk of that apparently comes from cows and their belching and, other bodily functions. I bet you never imagined a bunch of grazing animals could be pegged as the downfall of the planet. There are about 1.5 billion cows out there, each generously releasing up to 120 kilograms of methane per year. And oh wow, methane is 23 times more potent than carbon dioxide for climate change. Yikes. Because we haven't heard that statistic 100 times before, but it gets even better. Since cattle occupy 2/3 of all agricultural land, presumably we'll just wave a magic wand, turn that land into lush forests, and hoover up all that nasty carbon dioxide from the air. Boom. Problem solved. Easy. If everyone on Earth is suddenly munching on veggies, greenhouse gas emissions from livestock will drop by a dazzling 70%. Because numbers, right? Would going fully plant-based actually save the planet and improve our health, or is that just a naive dream? And what about all the economic and ethical headaches it might cause? Share your thoughts or rants below. Feel free to disagree, debate, and discuss. Just keep it civil. Let's hear where you stand on the future of food. Now back to our regular programming. Now let's address the teensy issue of what happens to those adorable farm animals once we no longer have a taste for them. With no need for grilled chicken or roast beef, the billions, yes, billions of farm animals can apparently either be slaughtered en masse, we'll just politely ignore the irony here, or set free to frolic in the wild. And naturally, the wild is super welcoming to domesticated sheep and pigs. Yay for them. The poor broiler chickens, on the other hand, they've been so domestically coddled that they wouldn't have the faintest clue what to do with themselves. But hey, maybe they can find a cozy sanctuary where they'll linger until they fade away. How sweet. Meanwhile, all your favorite butchers, dairy farmers, and ranch hands will be absolutely thrilled to go job hunting. Maybe they can become turnip farmers. Or perhaps they'll devote themselves to reforesting those wide open pastures. That definitely pays the bills, right? Especially in those developing countries where, entire economies revolve around livestock. I'm sure they'll adapt in the blink of an eye, because that's always how global economic transitions work. On the bright side, going vegan automatically means we're all in line for halos and perfect blood tests. Oh wait, if only it worked that way. Sure, some research spouts that switching to a plant-based diet might reduce risks of heart disease, stroke, and diabetes. Supposedly, the global mortality rate drops by 10%. 8 million fewer deaths a year. No big deal, right? Of course, in the real world, vegans run the risk of missing nutrients like calcium, iron, vitamin D, zinc, vitamin B12, and omega-3s. Minor details, I'm sure. We can just pop some pills or eat a truckload of lentils. Meanwhile, in developing countries where too many people are already undernourished, eliminating meat might shockingly make malnutrition worse. But why would that matter? They'll just have to figure it out for themselves, like everyone else. So there you have it. A global vegan uprising would basically fix climate change and make us all shining examples of good health. Except for the hordes of jobless workers, billions of abandoned livestock, and regions that rely on animal proteins to survive. It's such a cheery scenario, isn't it? But hey, Solutions exist to rein in livestock emissions. Somebody out there just has to implement them. In the meantime, I'm sure you're rushing to the kitchen to toss out your steaks and ice cream, right? Because obviously you can't wait to replace that meatball pasta with some mouth-watering tofu scramble. Go on, do it. The world is waiting.